Hello and welcome to this video on how to make your very own superhero puppet. So you want to have a few things lying around to use for this craft. You need a brown paper bag or a white paper bag. Either one will do. And you want to make sure that you lay the side down or up with the flap up like that. You need some colored construction paper, any color that you want. Probably need some white paper as well, just some scratch paper that you have. Some markers and glue. Stick glue works just fine for this. And then some googly eyes or sticker eyes. I happen to have some sticker eyes on hand, so I'm going to use these. And then of course a pair of scissors that we have to be very careful with. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to color the body of my superhero. So this part's going to be the face or the head, and this part down here is going to be kind of its body area. So I'm going to just take a marker and I'm going to color this whole thing down here. He's going to have, or she, going to have a red costume, but it can be any color that you want. You can make stripes if you'd rather make a design and do polka dots. You can do that. Anything that you like. Just want to make sure that you get this all nice and covered. If you don't want to use markers, if you actually want to get out the paints, you can get out the paints, or you can just stick with markers. Crayons will work too, colored pencils, anything, up to you. You could even not color it at all and just put a piece of paper on front too. So you can cut a piece of paper to the size that you want and just glue that straight onto the front. So that's an option too. The sky is the limit. Okay. I'm going a little fast so you can see it's kind of running out of ink a little bit, but that's okay. You can kind of see what I'm going for here. So that is the body. I'm going to let it kind of dry because even though I'm using markers, it's kind of a little wet here. So I'm going to focus on the head part here. So let's see. I'm going to use a blue. This is going to be my mask. So I want my little mask to actually kind of hang out a little bit more than what this is here. So I'm going to take my marker and kind of mark, well, I'm just going to kind of hold it here. I'm going to mark up top where I am, but then I know I probably can go about that far and about that far. So what I want to do is I want to make kind of like a figure 8. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you're looking for something that kind of looks like goggles or a face mask, something kind of along those lines. And I think I got mine a little bit too skinny, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut it a little bit bigger than what it is. These are just guidelines. Doesn't have to be perfect at all. You want to cut it out. So I'm going to cut it bigger than what it is. So want a nice, it's kind of like a robber's mask, but with our superhero mask. There we go. So there's the other side of it. Kind of looks like a peanut or a shoe print. So it looks kind of like that. Again, doesn't have to be perfect. Just something that covers, you know, the top part here. If you want, you could also even go like this if you want to make them even and cut kind of like that. Mine's a little uneven, so let's maybe do that. There we go. Kind of looks like a figure 8, but it's his mask. The mask that covers their eyes so you can't see what their real identity is. So I'm going to take my stick glue and I'm going to put it on the top part. Again, you want to make sure that it's the flap that's facing up because that's what's going to be, we're going to use this as the mouth. So I want to put that here. So I got that. I'm going to make a little, maybe make a little like nose here, and then a mouth, So now we need to add some eyes. So before I add my eyes, you can add your eyes right straight to there, but I'm actually going to add some little diamond pieces for the eyes, because sometimes you see in a superhero mask that they have a little bit of a cutout where their eyes are. That's what I'm going to do here. So I'm actually going to cut little diamond shapes out. And I'm going to glue them to my mask right about where the eyes should be. One there. And then I will put one over here. Okay. And then I get to pick out some eyes. So if you have some googly eyes, you can put the googly eyes right there in the middle. Or if you want to use some sticker eyes, I've got some of those, so I'm going to use those. These are kind of fun because you can kind of pick any kind of eyes that you want. There we go. So the last thing that I'm going to do is, usually your superhero has some sort of a symbol or an initial on their costume, on their capes, to kind of signify, you know, who they are, which kind of superhero they are, or what their name might be. So I'm going to make mine out of yellow, and it's going to be, I'm going to make just kind of a circle, and then when I cut it out, I'm going to cut it out with like some spikes around it. So I'm going to make a circle. This is my general shape, and I'm going to put my initial in it, which is a K. There we go. So you can cut around the circle and just make it a perfect circle, or you can make it wavy. I'm going to cut it out roughly, and then I'm going to make some spikes. So I'm going to cut in and out, so it kind of looks like a burst, like a star burst, or, you know, a fun kind of symbol on their chest. So it kind of makes it stand out. You can make this line wavy. This is a really good way to practice cutting. It's a little bit more difficult for the very young ones, so you might want to use a marker or a crayon to trace, or just do a straight cutout of a circle. Always need to have some guidance, some parental supervision when using scissors. But this is a good way to practice your scissor skills. And remember, it does not have to be perfect. So there is my symbol. I'm going to put on my superhero's chest. You see it's not totally perfect, but that's okay. It looks perfect to me. So I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to put some glue on here. And then I'm going to glue it right smack in the middle of my superhero. And then you are done. Now you have a paper sack superhero that you can use as a puppet to go save the world.